You might be wondering now, what are the qualities that make a successful, scalable entrepreneur? And of course, there is no, again, hard and fast rule or list of qualities that make successful entrepreneurs. But this is a list of qualities that are found or have been found in a large percentage of successful, scalable entrepreneurs. So, intelligent, with good creative problem-solving skills, self-starting, committed, motivated, and risk-taking. I think when you look at this list, you're going to see these are not binary qualities that people either have or don't have. These are qualities that people have along a spectrum. So people can be highly motivated, not that highly motivated, moderately motivated, etc. So you can take a look at this list and see how do you fit on the spectrum of these qualities. Now, some of these are qualities that are somewhat innate and maybe difficult to change your position on the spectrum, and some are adjustable with learning. For example, risk-taking, which we're going to learn about in our course. But it's a good a good introspection at this point to think about how highly motivated are you, how highly committed are you. I think one way to think about whether entrepreneurship is a fitting career for you is think about, are you somebody that likes to do what you want to do, or are you somebody who likes to do what you're told to do? Different people are happier in different situations. So if you're somebody who likes to do what you want to do, and you're self-starting, highly motivated, committed, and willing to take some risks, then entrepreneurship can be a good career for you. If you're somebody who prefers to be told what to do and take direction, and not that self-starting and not that committed to things that you like to do, probably entrepreneurship is not going to be that rewarding or comfortable for you. Why is entrepreneurship important to you? Or what are the rewards that you might find in a career in entrepreneurship? To explore this question, I like to ask a series of other questions, starting with what type of life do you want to have? Now, assuming you could somehow, at the end of your life, look back and distill down whatever was important for you to achieve in your life to make it a fulfilling life, and look at the measure of accomplishment of the things that you find make a fulfilling life. So would you be happy to have a below average life in that situation? Probably not. I think nobody wants to be below average. Would you be satisfied to just have an average life, meaning on all the criteria that are important to you in having a satisfying life, do you want to achieve just the population average? Or would you like to have an above average to extraordinary life? Usually when I ask people this question in a large group, almost everybody raises their hand to the last choice. They want to have an above average to extraordinary life. When considering that, I like you to think about how are you actually going to do that when you consider the amount of your time spent in the rest of your life that's going to be at work. In a typical adult life working career, you're going to spend something like 40% or more of your waking hours at work. And while you're doing that, how are you going to be achieving an extraordinary life? It's very difficult to do that as an employee in a large company. You can achieve this type of extraordinary result in your life in areas outside of work, but again, that means you're in essence writing off your work life in terms of it contributing to your total life satisfaction. And then you can ask, what do you want to do with your life? You want to create something of value from nothing, or just make money, or is that really a trade-off? Would you like to make a difference, change the world, leave something of value after you're gone? as a scalable entrepreneur, actually you can achieve all of these things. You can have an extraordinary life, and actually I would go so far as to say if you are decide to pursue a career in scalable entrepreneurship, you will have an extraordinary life. It's going to be radically different from the lives of most of the people that you know who are working in large organizations. You have a chance to create something of value from nothing. You have a chance to become rich. If you look at the list, Forbes magazine publishes every year a list of the richest people in the world, 400 richest people in the world, and if you look at the top 20 people in that list, they all made their money in one of two ways. Either they were entrepreneurs or they were the children of entrepreneurs. Since you can't go back and change your parents, the only option open to you if you want to become one of the richest people in the world is to become a scalable entrepreneur. Now, just to be clear about that, becoming a scalable entrepreneur doesn't mean you're going to become rich. In fact, you most likely won't, because the vast majority of people that become scalable entrepreneurs will not become rich. But if you want a shot at that, meaning want to become super rich, becoming a scalable entrepreneur is, in effect, the only way to do that. At the same time, you can do something meaningful with your life. You can create a company that can change the world in a positive way. It's become a cliche in entrepreneurship to talk about how scalable entrepreneurs want to change the world, but in fact, the most successful scalable entrepreneurs that I work with all want to change the world, and they want to make a difference, and they want to leave something of value behind when they're gone. And this is meaning scalable entrepreneurship is very rare opportunity to do well while doing good. And I think this is a great opportunity for those who are willing to go down this path. But what about the contribution that you might want to make to society? As a scalable entrepreneur, you actually have a opportunity to contribute to the long-term economic growth of your country. So if you think about what drives long-term economic growth in an economy, it is a process called creative destruction. Creative destruction means new companies create new products and services that add exponential growth to the economy and displace existing firms to drive continuous long-term growth. This type of entrepreneurship contributes disproportionately to GDP, job growth, and sales growth in economies that have a thriving entrepreneurial sector. You can see this process at work right here in Singapore. When I went to come to this class today, I called Grab to come and pick me up and take me to school. 10 years ago, I would have called Comfort. So what do we see right now is in Southeast Asia, right here in Singapore, Grab is challenging Comfort as the primary source of personal transportation in Singapore. This is creating thousands of jobs for people that are driving for Grab, more income for people that are driving for Grab, and ultimately will contribute to long-term economic growth in the region. So if you're thinking about a career that can be fabulously rewarding for you, plus contribute directly to economic growth in your country, scalable entrepreneurship is that opportunity. So I have painted a pretty picture of what are some of the rewards of scalable entrepreneurship, but what are the obstacles to becoming a successful scalable entrepreneur? If it was easy to do, everybody would do it. So obstacles to entrepreneurship, successful scalable entrepreneurship, include lack of entrepreneurial skills, attitude toward risk, so-called cultural attitudes toward failure, and the fact that entrepreneurial success is difficult. In our course, we're going to learn about, we're going to help you to develop entrepreneurial skills, so that shouldn't be an obstacle for you after you complete the course. We'll also learn more about risk to help you get past any restrictive attitudes you have about risk. I'll talk about cultural attitudes toward failure in a minute, and on my last point, that entrepreneurial success is difficult, actually, this is a very good thing. It's very good that entrepreneurial success is difficult. Why? If entrepreneurial success was easy, it wouldn't be rewarding. So the relationship between the difficulty of accomplishing something and the reward that you receive when you do that thing is very highly correlated, which I'm going to talk about in a little while when I go deeper into the relationship between risk and return. But for now, it's enough to note that it's good that entrepreneurial success is difficult because this is why it generates such exciting rewards.